And we're back into the draft.
I mean, that's a pretty big mistake if that was the case.
CCNY versus CCNY.
I'm getting there.
That's deep.
The problem is normally I would make those adjustments while I put the intermission screen on, but
No, we just decided to chat instead of
we're having too much fun in this conversation.
And just we're gonna see about 10 jungles banned out here. Let's just ban every jungle champion and then play Vol, right?
Yeah.
His pool is deep enough that includes the Udyr, so you can't ban him out.
See, but that's the problem, right? Was the Udyr really the difference maker in that match?
No, I honestly don't think that Udyr really had that much. Any early game jungler that could have invaded Evelynn at that point when she was behind would have probably. It just came down to losing the top side and then the bot side getting progressively behind.
Yep.
And your Kassadin really never got to the point where you could actually do anything, right? If you go Roa Kassadin, you want to scale. You want to play that 28-minute game, that 30-minute game, but the game was over at 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you never really got to play the hero that you wanted to play.
And you saw how they sent the Kassadin down, especially in the later part of the game, to deal with the kill because there's nobody else that could, right? And
he couldn't either.
He couldn't really do it himself, so like, I don't know if it would have been worth it for him to not necessarily let the kill just run rampant, but maybe send somebody else so that maybe they could have killed somebody else. I don't know.
They were just trying to stop the bleeding at that point, and recognizing that they don't want to deal with the kill, they just get rid of it. But this opens up the Camille, which was banned last game.
Yeah, and they grab him on the side of Concordia, so we'll see the Camille act a little bit more. As far as the jungle is concerned, we'll see what kind of a role the Camille will put in there.
I know Camille is one of Keep Dreaming's favorite heroes right now. So it's been one of his pocket picks all time. So if he really wants to play Camille in this new meta, I think it works. It's a good initiate. It's a good laner and dueler. And it scales honestly pretty well. If he doesn't get behind in the early game, he's going to have a great time late game.
And we have a Kha'Zix coming off for on the side of CCNY, and Lord, I don't like a Kha'Zix.
He's pretty strong early game.
So I think it's probably the answer to, I guess the Udyr that was coming out, right? Like to see, because Evelyn's not that strong early game, but by responding with a Kha'Zix, those 1v1s might be a little bit different this time.
Your Kha'Zix really needs kills, right? Your Kha'Zix needs to get ahead in the early game, or else he's kind of in it's similar story to the Evelynn, where if Kha'Zix can pick up those simple kills topside where somebody's simply overextended and picks him out with the isolation, you're going to get ahead and you might hope to snowball. But in this situation, I don't really see you getting those picks versus a Syndra or Udyr or even Camille like that. You're probably going to look bot side now. I think Concordia recognizes that, and they're probably going to draft a pretty safe bot lane coming.
Yeah,
especially with the Rakan being banned out, like they can't play aggro.
No, because Zaya's on the other side now, so they're probably gonna have to go into their champion pool a little bit to try and get another ADC. But
the Janna ban is interesting because I didn't really feel that it was game breaking enough to merit a ban.
No, I mean she had a little bit of appeal, but I don't think it was like you said. I don't think it was enough to really merit a ban. But maybe they didn't have any other options.
Especially in a game right now with the state of League of Legends where Leona, Nautilus, and really these brawler melee supports are. I don't see a necessary need for Janna unless you're really trying to pinch the support player out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, maybe
with
Janna
literally 4 support bans.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what they're trying to do because maybe they're Concordia themselves are thinking they're going to be playing around the bottom side. So maybe by preventing CC of getting their support picks, it's going to prevent them from protecting their a Rumble pick.
This is interesting because it might just be a Rumble top and an Aurelia mid. Depending on who play, I'm not really familiar with their players. I don't really know who plays which. But Rumble with the alcoves has been kind of bad to play top lane, right? Because before you used to be able to ult both
Yes.
bushes, and either way, the guy was going to run into them probably.
Yes,
But right now, it's I flash into the alcove or I E into the alcove because I'm Camille, and
Yeah.
then goodbye Rumble ult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and based on depending on the dragon that you get too, some of them was it the mountain drake can possibly help them, but the fire drake is going to create all kinds of different paths to get out of their ult. So fighting in the jungle is what you want to do as a rumble, right? Like you want to get that team in a nice little juicy line, but
A choke point that they can't get out of.
exactly.
And the Concordia really goes with Nautilus, which is at this point your go-to support, your favorite. With all these probably comfort supports banned out, you play meta. And on the counter side to that, CCNY picking up the Lulu. Lulu generally does okay versus Nautilus.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of really depends if the Lulu doesn't die. If the Lulu starts to get behind, the Knowledge just gets turbo tanky and straight up unkillable. But if she could polymorph him when he goes in to not get the auto attacks done,
Yeah.
then it really slides in her favor a little bit.
At least to provide a little bit of peel, right? Like it'll give the ADC a chance to not get locked down too long for a combo and get killed. Based on just the wording alone that Concordia was doing last time, though,
They really found the jungler's pathing and kind of negated it super. And again, going with this really early game composition or really scrappy and brawler composition, you can't fight Concordia because you will just straight up get CC to death, right? Like look at this comp of stuns like Nautilus, Syndra, Udyr, point and click stun, Camille, stun. And on the other side, you have no hard CC aside from Irelia, and that's super gimmicky.
A little bit of Lulu with her
polymorph,
and the knock-up that she gets when she does her ult, but other than that,
yeah, I mean, it's one thing I could kind of see is maybe they try and chain the Irelia ult with the Rumble ult, so they get slowed and trapped in the circle, and he drops the ult on them. They take damage trying to get out.
That's going to depend on where they fight too, right? Because if you're fighting in a lane, the chances of you getting that.
He's fighting a good choke point in the jungle.
That's where they're probably going to... So I figure they're probably going to try to play a strong catch comp, which means their wording is going to have to be on point. It's going to be an interesting one. I think if Concordia brings the same aggression that they had last match, I think they're going to be the favorites for this one.
They really have to. If you're not playing aggro with this comp you have, then you shouldn't be playing this comp. Let's be fair.
Yeah, definitely. The early game, Camille going up against Rumble. I think Camille's going to have the advantage in that one. But we'll see what keystones they pick, right?
It'd be Aftershock Rumble.
Omnistone, right? Have all the keystones.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can't decide on a keystone, just pick all of them
Just
forehead.
All of them. I think that's wild. I haven't tried that one yet. Have you guys have either of you guys tried that one?
I have not.
I haven't tried it.
I had an ADC run it a day on Zaya, and it was really weird because you would see like electric creep pop up and be like, okay, time to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Suppress the attack and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times it would just be weird stuff like Aftershock. So I'm like, I guess you'll get armor. Cool.
On an ADC, I don't know if that... I mean, then again, like... I don't know who that's for. That's the problem. Like I don't know.
It probably depends on what character you're picking. I think a character like MF can probably run it, but would you run that instead of something like press the attack?
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't think so.
not.
Or even Conqueror.
Or Conqueror.
Yeah.
Or Lethal Tempo.
I don't. Yeah.
Or Arcane Comet. Like, or just want to meme on them and pick all the keystones.
She couldn't decide, right? It's like, why not both? It's like the taco meme.
Well, who would... so I'm trying to figure out which champion would benefit the most, because they took out Kleptomancy to put this in, right?
Yeah.
So which champion would benefit the most from having all the keystones? Or
probably a champion that could deal with not having any other runes, because let's be fair, and support tree there.
Yeah, that's hurting your support.
With the inspiration tree, you don't really have any offensive stuff. You have your cookies, your dematerializers or things like that. You don't really have any offensive stuff, so it hurts your scaling for sure, and it also hurts your damage.
Definitely.
I don't see it being useful on any AD character or really jungler or any real character that relies on doing that damage and getting that damage out.
Yeah.
So if you're picking on anything, it's probably a gimmicky support.
Maybe like Ivern.
I mean, you could probably even run it on something like, yeah, probably your Ivern or probably your Lulus and things like that in the world if you don't want to use Airy for whatever god-known reason.
Yeah.
Run it on when I support Malzahar for you, I'll try it out.
Yeah, there you go.
See how it goes.
See how it works.
We have a cooler Udyr skin this game.
Yes.
Yeah. I think he heard you and he wanted to step his game up.
He upped his skin budget, right? The 400 RP skin to like a little bit more.
For all those who think shame doesn't work, and we're talking about a sneaky little level 1 engage.
Yeah, they're looking for Kha'Zix here, but I think they might have spotted them out with that ward.
Did they?
I don't know.
Well, Rumble seems to be moseying over into the bottom. Oh,
they might be able to catch him.
I think we spoke too soon.
They're gonna catch him.
He better have started Q on Nautilus, because if he's not, he's griefing.
Oh, he flashed?
He flashed. There you go.
And he got him.
And he got the stun down with the Camille over. And the first blood going right over to Concordia.
A couple of sums blown, but
honestly, kind of unfortunate that Nautilus blew the flash there. He probably could have stunned him without the flash. But it looks like they're going to also try and get that red. And CCNY is pinging the red buff already, so I think they know that this is happening, and they're probably going to try and go contest the other red buff.
Yeah.
They might get a little bit of vertical jumping here.
Yeah. I think giving up that first blood is going to help the Camille a lot. I had tried Comet on, we were talking about Keystones before, but I've tried Comet on Rumble. Not my favorite, but it does work. It's definitely a lot better than putting Aftershock on. Oh, and we have a gank, a repeat gank. Although he didn't use his flash, so he manages to get away with just a couple bruises.
Rumble was pretty smart there in the first look. He recognized he was dead after getting chain CC3. So keeping that flash there, knowing he will have to probably use it soon. And Kha'Zix, meanwhile, gets spotted by the ward, so he's going to try and go take that red right. Irelia is helping him out too, just giving him cryo in that lane.
Yeah, and I think they're just going to give it up. I don't think they're going to contest that. I think Nautilus is going to drop a couple wards.
On the contrary, I think they are going to contest, but then the Irelia's going to land the E on the Syndra and engage, get some nice damage off, but the Udyr comes Shura away. And the Kha'Zix isn't even able to get the red buff, but there's a flash, and the cavalry is also here.
These are a lot of people for 2 minute 40.
Yeah.
And a lot of summoners are being blown. And the
Irelia goes down. And a beautiful group stun going for Concordia.
All the suns are being blown right now. All the ignites, all the flashes.
Red buff actually helping out there, finishing off the kill.
Oh man, this is mayhem. This is mayhem. We have a Lulu going down right now to the Syndra, who picks up a big orb of death and drops it on her head.
And the Udyr is still able to get his red buff, and the Kha'Zix walks away empty-handed.
Having to settle for a scuttle.
Or empty claw.
Empty claw.
I honestly, I don't know what I was seeing there. I don't know why he decided to contest. It's kind of really strange. You don't want to fight all those stuns.
I think...
And then... maybe it's just TDM.
It was...
Oh, and a gank on the Camille, but she has to burn the flash.
All her cooldowns are up, so I don't see her getting out of this one. And
yeah,
Alcove maybe? No, never mind.
That was exciting in the bottom jungle before.
Yeah, like going back to that, I kind of don't know why you go contest. If you're CCNY, you lost a lot in terms of CS, and maybe if you saw that mid has collapsed, you don't contest it. But it's weird, honestly, from both teams. Both teams really wanted to protect that red buff.
I think Concordia was less concerned about the red buff and just they saw an opportunity to get some kills, and they're playing to the aggression that they had last game that worked out for them.
The bot lane moved first, right? So you
Yeah.
saw Nautilus and Kaisa move first and pinched, and then it just came into a weird fight where they were fighting on two fronts. The back line was fighting the other bot lane, and then the front line was fighting the mid laner and the jungler, and it was just kind of strange overall, and it just ended up who had the most stuns and who can do the most CC
Yeah.
and pick up those kills there. But it's a lot of gold going onto Udyr early.
So a ward spotted out the Kha'Zix on the top side, so they saw their opportunity to get this Ocean Drake, and the first Drake goes over to Concordia.
And that's going to be an Ocean Drake.
It's not as useful as the Cloud.
No, but it'll help.
It does give a lot of healing now.
Exactly.
With the changes. And if you're playing Udyr and you want to sustain and survive forever while counter jungle, it's honestly pretty good for you.
No, it's not a bad thing to have. It'll keep the laners, and that Kaisa wants to stay in lane as long as she can and stay online. We see Udyr pushing.
They know where Sir Josh is.
Getting pushed out of lane again. Different champion, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Concordia's doing a really good job of warding these camps and entrances. They really know where he's gonna. That comes down to just keeping track of timers, right?
Yeah.
You know your Udyr is gonna try and counter gank, and if your team doesn't help you really establish that vision control, come contest, then you're kind of putting yourself at a severe disadvantage. Like, I much rather would have seen 2 control wards in Lulu's inventory versus 2 fairy charms right now.
So you have to. Oh,
She gets hooked from
beautiful.
the turret and taken out really quickly, disposed of. And we have a little engage here, and the Kha'Zix tries to jump with the jump flower, but gets stunned immediately, trapped inside the Camille ult. But it was a 3v1, so she wasn't able to flip that one.
You can see there's a little bit more fight in CCNY this time.
Top lane doesn't have any flash. If the top lane is overextended and they could really get a kill there, more power to them, and I think that's a really good, because the bot side right now is not going in their favor, and that Lulu play was kind of just awkward, right? You pass in front of a minion, that's literally, Nautilus is just going to hook you through it and CC you.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe a little bit too much overzealous of Lulu going for the damage there, but good counter reaction for CCNY on the top side.
Yeah, I mean,
Able to pinch, get something on the Camille on the top side.
I mean that's what you want from them, right? If you're not going to be making it on the bottom side, you give 2 kills over to Rumble.
And an engage on the Aurelia here. She's not going to be able to make it out of this one because the Ignite's just going to burn her down.
And it was beautifully done. Getting the stun down on her right when Udyr came running around like a crazed lunatic.
And it was actually really good too. I don't know if they planned it like that, but Aurelia's flash was coming up in about 5 or 6 seconds. So had nowhere to go there, no minions to dash around, nobody to flash to, and well played. They kept track of the timer.
Oh yeah. And Kha'Zix.
I think Kha'Zix going to get this red buff uncontested.
Yeah. I think it's the red buff you wanted all along, right? Unless he dies.
The red buff kills him.
But I think that's his first red buff of the game.
1v1? Oh, you got it.
You have some warding shenanigans going down on the bottom side. Concordia playing to their strengths and keeping some good vision in the jungle.
You guys okay?
Yeah, we have some
Yeah.
technical difficulties.
Oh yeah, no. And we got to fight in the mid lane, so let's see where this goes.
Oh, and Aurelia solo kills the Syndra.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice 1v1. She had to blow her Ignite and her ult, but the Syndra really had nowhere to go on that one.
No.
And again, some
Level 6
beautiful
Aurelia.
wards on the top side of the brush, of the top side of the jungle, tracking the Kha'Zix everywhere he goes.
Aurelia is out farming Syndra by a lot, that I just noticed. It's a lot. The game is a lot more balanced, and we have a beautiful hook going over on this side of Concordia, but Xayah uses her ult to escape. No worse for wear.
I think that's a pretty good trade-off, right? A Q cooldown for an ultimate cooldown.
That's
7 seconds for a minute 20. Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
He could just do it again, right? This time she's not getting out, right?
Exactly.
And a good thing there for Irelia recognizing that she has a kill pressure level 6 with the if you're Syndra there, you really just want to play a little bit further back. You don't have Seeker's arm guard, so you can't really negate the damage of that coming out. And overall, maybe just path backwards when you know that's coming. Meanwhile, top side, I really don't like Camille.
No, they're trying to put pressure on there because either because they know that she's down, and they can
They're also really losing control of bot side right now.
Yeah,
I feel like it's the only place where Kha'Zix feels like he could put any kind of pressure at all. But the problem now is that since these dragons are so important, you can't put all your eggs in the top side basket and lose out on these turrets. I mean, lose out on these dragons.
While they've been putting all this pressure topside, Camille is still up in CS. She's around 30 CS.
and he uses his ult defensively, which I really don't think was a good idea.
Ult on the Lulu. Camille's forced to flash away.
And
Lulu's
Lulu's burning down.
The Kaisa ults in just to clean her up and walks away.
It really just feels like CCNY has been one step behind. They lost the Rift Herald, so they're like, let's go gank top. But as he's ganking top and spending so much time in that bush where he was spotted out by by Camille, Concordia's like, oh, let's just take Dragon. Nobody's here anyway.
I mean, and you have to contest that, right? Like, you can't... They have the Rift Herald already. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you can try to return by doing something else, right? Oh, and a beautiful gank. Reverse gank, I guess you can say.
Beautiful counter gank.
Although Camellia does end up going down because of the backup from the Irelia. And Irelia getting 2 kills. I don't know, that's a trade. That trade, I don't think went in favor of Concordia that time.
Now the Syndra's in the bot lane. They're coming to turret tide. They're gonna get the kill on the Lulu. Are they gonna get the
And they're definitely getting the kill on the Zyre too.
They're gonna get the Zyre.
Kind of a interesting dive, not the cleanest, but they do get the. I think they're probably gonna try and get this tower too. I don't think they can.
Oh, I think they can take. They can probably take this tower before Lulu gets back, and seeing as how Camille
there was 2 top and the Kha'Zix is in mid. Oh no.
I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again.
Demolish on Nautilus briefing.
Yeah. So what are we looking at here? We have the game's a lot more even, still in favor of Concordia, but I find the organization of Concordia, the decision making, is just better, right? Like the CC of the NY, they're making good plays, but it doesn't seem like they're making them at the right moments because they're not capitalizing off of anything, right?
It might just honestly come down to better vision. There's only one pink ward on the map right now, the CCNY, and Concordia has a lot in their inventory, so it's easier here.
And they're trying to chase down the Udyr. Camille managed to
Is he
get
actually
away.
gonna run away? No way.
Oh, and the slow comes down. Oh, and Camille drops. Could not get away. Traded her life for Udyr's.
So sad. He had about 1 second left on his E when I was trying to E over
Over the wall, yeah.
but he was just 1 second away from sending you 30 seconds to Morris Alba, by the way.
Oh, and let's see here. I really has a lot of pushback.
Yeah, and
Conqueror
she
healing?
just basically waiting for her ult cooldown to be up before she could use that one. Because I was sitting there looking at it, I'm like, why isn't she ulting her? With the plates down now, it's just we're just going over 14 minutes.
We have an ult.
Using her ult on herself to try and live, which you hate to see it whenever a support does it.
Freaking greedy support player. Using their ults on themselves.
I mean, especially when you're about to die, right? Like, if you're about to die, you know it's just a panic thing, but the first turret is going to be going onto the side of Concordia as Syndra comes in for a little bit of moral support, a little bit of cheerleading. Those purple pom-poms flying around her.
But that's another positive about the Malzahar support. He can't use his ult on himself.
God. If I'm gonna be like the mean guy here, is you knew that dive was coming. That huge. You saw Cinder passing downward, and at that point, you have to recognize that you need to fall back. Like this turret will die.
You give the turret up. It's you know, a lot of people, and I'm definitely a culprit of this too, where you hang around a little bit too long. You're not afraid to, you're too afraid to concede outer turrets or a little bit of CS in the face of a kill, because sometimes those big objectives, you're not thinking bigger picture, right? And we have a ult coming over from Aurelia. It's Kaisa. Barely makes it out alive, taking out the Aurelia.
And believe it or not, that's the Kaiser's first kill of the game.
And we have
Kaisa.
Rumble has to scurry. He's
he
running.
has all his
flashes,
cooldowns up.
Flashes, uses Sonya, trying to get one kill at least, trying to walk away at something. But he will walk away empty-handed.
And Udyr is chasing down that Xayah.
Xayah's trying to run, doing everything she can, flashes over the wall.
And she makes
looks
it
like
out.
she's going to get away for today.
But you know what that means, right?
Another dragon for Concordia?
Another dragon for Concordia.
I thought you were gonna say another kid not put in the base.
Another kid.
Just outside of his reach.
Just outside of his reach. He's like, oh, I'll get that kid later. Go back and give me some lollipops. Anyways.
Maybe Kaisa is actually trying to send us a secret message with her 1010.
You think?
If she gets 10 kills, she's trying to write hello, but in binary. Maybe that's the secret to winning.
Well, whatever it is, it's definitely winning.
It's working today.
Because they got the juice.
You can see like
Rift Herald is up, and I don't know if they saw bot lane and recall, but they should really be trying to go for this Rift Herald right
Oh yeah. Although,
like, you have priority with Rumble there. If Rumble wants to pass down, your Aurelia is so strong that just having an extra member there will help.
definitely. And that was actually a pretty clever move, using the Udyr seeming to block. I mean, I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but blocking the slow from a beautiful hook going over from Nautilus. And I understand now why you were saying he's such a big part of the meta, because he just made a massive difference in that match. Camille chasing down the Xayah, taking her down, and as they chase off all the other off the Kazakhs, Rift Herald is going to be going over to the side of Concordia.
Yeah, and honestly, when you're playing a melee support like Nautilus versus a team that's melee and wants to engage like that, and you just straight up take advantage of any little mistake, any misposition that the enemy team does, because your cooldown, your R cooldown and your Q cooldown have no, like, barely any time on them, right? You shoot a Q, there's no penalty.
And your Q is massive.
The hitbox is ginormous. It's the size of a truck. It's about the size of a Nautilus.
As we can see
Another
right there.
beautiful Q as Kaisa ults in, and another turret going down for Concordia.
They walk away with one kill from Nautilus.
But it's not enough to stop the Rift Herald from getting another charge on that tower.
I think one big thing that I've noticed is just the ineffectiveness of the jungler on the CCNA. Or sorry, what's CCNA? That's a Cisco, a Cisco program.
And he turns around, uses the adaptive shield to block the damage, and goes on a killing spree, taking out the Kazakhs.
Yeah.
You were talking about it, ineffective.
Yeah, the ineffective Kazakhs. He's just been spotted everywhere. He's been trying to go.
I mean, it's not really. Let's think of like a bit like reverse engineering wise. Like, it's not been really Kazakh's fault that they're like, his vision score is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He just hasn't had the support from his team really. Udyr has invaded his jungle constantly. The warding hasn't been there. The priority and items for CCNY has been a little bit strange. Like, rather having a dagger and a Doran's blade instead of two pink wards, or a blue trinket, just to scout out where the jungle is going and trying to scout out the objectives for them. It's a hard situation as a jungler if you're just running in blind and dying all the time because your team isn't helping.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't see the CCNY with a plan either. Like they seem to be kind of running around with chickens without a head, dropping their ult in the top lane. Rumble jukes out the Q from Nautilus, but it's not going to be enough to get him away from that Udyr.
Just an example that you look at the top side of CCNY's jungle, you see all the deep wards from Concordia, whereas if you look at the other side, there's absolutely no wards at all. No vision.
And they can do that. Like your Nautilus, your Udyr, your Camille, they can all go in and get those deep wards for you. Counter to that, your Rumble, your Lulu, they just don't do much, and that's why Lulu isn't really meta right now. It's just so hard to get those wards. And she's not tanky; she'll die instantly. And
Camille jumping off into the back lane. Sorry.
No. Here we go. Irelia getting the big ultimate onto everyone, but not enough to get those kills. Nautilus stuns her up and chains CC to death. So unfortunate, and this looks like it is GG.
Yeah.
And that was a nice setup, like a